Welcome to another episode of the 89 Garage. It is brighter than my future outside right now. Last night we had ourselves, I don't know what you want to call it, a mud storm? Mud, rain, snow mix. And it wreaked some havoc on the old fleet here. Before we get too far into this video today about the 89, let's go ahead and ask you to hit the subscribe button down yonder. It is red and it says subscribe. And then when you do that, it will alert you, put my content in your feed, and you will be able to see my videos right when they come out. And that would be a good thing. This is one of the disadvantages of owning 37 cars. These were somewhat clean before, but yeah, have a gander at Frankie back here too. Look at this mess. Yeah, there's some of the snow still left, but pretty handy. The car I am going to look at today is sitting right here. And although it is dirty, it is the cleanest car in the fleet right now. All of this, I don't know if that's coming in or not, but them drops are from when it rains, or like yesterday when it throws mud. When this garage door opens, it drips down between the tracks. You can kind of see how it comes down in and lands there. But then there's also dust. It's also been very windy lately, so the dust makes its way through the garage door as well. You can still see a shine on her, but it does have dust on it. Somehow that got over there. So in a very rare moment, this specimen of a fox body will make its way past that line, and it will sit outside in a winter month. I feel like I have neglected showing off this car for too long. And it is, after all, how I named the channel, I guess. So I kind of feel, I've had this feeling like, geez, you know, you name a channel after it, dedicate a lot of time into this thing, and not much has been shown off. So that is the purpose of this video. Gonna tell you the change of direction that I'm taking with this car. In some of my first videos, the introductory to the channel, I believe, was one of them. I've talked about putting a 351 in it, but as I have watched the market right now for these cars, I think that's a dumb idea. And the 351 might wind up in Frankie instead, because let's be honest, Frankie is not ever going to look like that. And if I gotta cut things to reshape firewalls, whatever, I probably don't have to do that for a 351. But if I decide to put something else in it, modular, something, I don't care if Frankie gets kind of beat up, because it's already beat up. Anyway, let's move along. Here's my car. Let's go back to 1989 right now. Got some squeakage going on. Sounds like maybe the alternator or the idler pulley is trying to check out on me. There it is. So after a long run from 1989 until now, I think that bearing's finally going out. Good stuff. Welcome back to another episode of the 89 Garage. I previously recorded this episode and I didn't care for the way it turned out, so hopefully it turns out better. Last week I had some pretty good weather here. It was about 57 degrees and I took the old Mustang, the 8.9, out into the driveway, and well, I recorded a video that I wasn't too satisfied with after I produced it. So I'm going to attempt to make it more gooder in this video. So in that video, I went over the modifications that I've already done to the 8.9. I have a few different videos where I've, like, this stuff is like mixed in other videos. Like Frankie, there's some stuff in the videos of me working on Frankie where I mentioned stuff I've done to the 8.9. And I just wanted to have a home, kind of give you a general idea, all in one spot as to what I have done. And now the plans that I have for it going forward, I've changed the course of action that I originally planned on. If you would have asked me a year ago, things would have been completely different. But so let's move along here and let me show you what I have done to it. Like I have mentioned before, I have owned this car. It just passed 26 years that I've owned it. If you have not seen my 26-year video, it would have been released on January 19th because I bought it January 19th, 1995. So on the 26-year anniversary, well, I released the video of said anniversary. I'm a nerd. I love the car to death. I remember about anything you want to know about it. And, well, we've exchanged blood a few times, and, well, we're pretty close. Looks like today you're also going to get to see all my LED light collection. Let's start from where it all begins. Basically, you know, a motor's just pretty much an air pump, and the faster it gets air through it, the more horsepower you got, basically. Let's start right here. This is probably the one and only Fram product I have bought for 15-20 years. It is a K&N knockoff that the Fram Air Hog, that is their K&N knockoff. Got it really cheap on Rock Auto, so that's why it's there. Anyway, moving along through the air system, we have a 73 millimeter. It's a C&L mass airflow housing, which also has the 24-pound injector sampling tube. I really like these meters because you can change the sampling tube out. And when I bought it, it had a 19 in it. And since then, I have had to move on to a 24-pound injector sampling tube. Next up, 65 millimeter throttle body from a 97 Ford Explorer. That is a modified throttle body. You have to do some slight modifications to make it work. This tube is pointed the other way. You have to spin that around, and you also have to take the throttle cable connection off of a Fox body throttle body, and you have to cut that out, then cut the one off the Explorer as well, and then weld it on. Just a little tack will hold it on pretty good. And next we are at the EGR plate right here. That is a 70 millimeter. It is made by Professional Products. Now, all of this here is feeding a Downs Ford upper intake. This is their GT40 style. It is cast iron. I bought this originally with the intentions of boosting this someday with either turbo or a supercharger, but you will find out shortly that I will not be doing that. Down here, this is a lower intake from a 97 Explorer. Same motor, or same setup. I bought the throttle body with this. I have the upper intake still, but I bought that all as a set, really cheap on eBay, back when the whole discovery was being had that these would work with, that they flowed as well as they did, and they would work very well on Mustangs. I forgot that I also need to mention that these are 93 Cobra injectors. They're EV1s. They're the Bosch style. There are a lot of people that think you should switch to the 4-hole. I think those are EV6s. I've never had a single problem with EV1s, so you know, I actually have EV6s on Frankie, and I don't think it did anything special. From there, we are feeding GT40P cylinder heads. So With cylinder heads, you lose, if you have these heads, you will know that there is no air injection system on the back of it, so all that is gone, which also negates the need for the smog pump. This thing actually passed emissions better without the smog pump and the GT40P heads when I was still in Salt Lake. On top of those heads, or valves I should say, you will find some 1.71 roller rockers. And just to kind of let you know the specs on the GT40P heads, those came from a 98 Mountaineer with about 60,000 miles on it. It was totaled, and they were very low miles when I got them, obviously. They have a 58cc combustion chamber. They have a 1.65 intake valve with a 155cc intake runner. And then the exhaust valve is a 1.48, and the exhaust runner is 55 cc's. They're okay. They're not the best head in the world, but you know, I got them for like $150 for the pair, and I've had them on here for probably 12 years now, maybe 13. Back at that point in time, they were a lot more popular than they are now. Not saying they're not still popular, but a lot of people are going with aluminum heads now and what have you. Now, the air is moving out of those heads with these BBK headers. They are actually made by, the brand on the box was Brentech. I was told by Brothers Performance that they're made on the same equipment, same machinery, whatever, that BBKs are made. And I have a set of BBKs that they look identical, except they say BBK on them. So the block on this is the original 89 block. It's never been out of the car. I did all the heads and everything while this stayed in the car. The cam is still original. It still has and if the motor hasn't been out of it, obviously the pistons are the original forged pistons as well. The bottom end has 100 and I don't know what it is. We can look at it. Now, coming out of those BBK headers, it goes into an SVE off-road X-pipe. From the X-pipe, it goes into Mack Flowpath catback. It is it's like right when they came out, when I bought this. They have been on the car for quite a while. As soon as I saw these come out, I really liked the design of just how the system fit. And I'm talking back in the day, you had to download like a WAV file. I had to download a WAV file to listen to it, and I'm telling you, it does not, it did not do it justice. YouTube has helped out people quite a bit in the exhaust sound department, being able to hear and kind of feel what you're gonna get out of the mufflers and the setup that you're buying. 185,000 miles on that stock block that has literally had the living tar kicked out of it. By the way, I wrote all this down because that's kind of what happened in my last video. I was kind of missing some stuff that I wanted to put in here. So next, back of that motor, a 50-ounce Ford Motorsport SVO flywheel has the original King Cobra clutch mounted to it, and that is, I love that clutch. I'm going to be very sad when that clutch goes out on me, because It is the most perfect clutch I've ever felt. And obviously I quite like it. The T5, so I had this thing painted, and I got it in December, I think it is December 2010, December 1st, 2010, I got it back. A friend of mine that owns a transmission shop said, hey, why don't you come store that in my shop for the winter? And so I did. While it was there, he pulled the trans out of it for me. It did shift okay, except above about 4,500 RPMs, it would grind into second. So he took it apart, and fixed it all up. So it got rebuilt about 10 years ago, and it probably only has about, I'm going to get flamed for this, but it probably only has about 3,000 to 4,000 miles on it. I literally have not driven this thing much since, other than to car shows and just a little jaunt around town. I don't like taking it to stores. So anyway, that's why I barely drive it anymore. On top of this T5, back in the day, Saleen, maybe they still do, but back in the day, Saleen sold their Hurst base, which they were putting on their Fox bodies. And so I picked up one of those, and I really, really like it. But the throw was kind of a little bit longer than I wanted. So a friend of mine, and I will put a video in here right now just showing you what he did. Let me take this off and I'll just show you a modification that a friend of mine actually did this for me. And I liked it so much that I left the Hurst base on here. And this is a stock handle. A friend of mine years and years ago cut that for me. This used to be like up in here, so the handle used to sit kind of up in this area. But I personally think this is the best shifter I've ever felt. I have I've owned a B&M, which I had in my 86 GT. And then Frankie has some, I don't know what it is. It's a B&M knockoff though. And I don't care for it. But the one thing that I did fail to mention is that with that base, I also bought, Saleen was taking the rubber, I don't know what you want to call it. It kind of isolated the handle from the shifter itself. Ford apparently put that in their infinite wisdom to limit the noise. T5s are a little bit noisy, but I think that was their fix to make it so it wasn't so noisy, which maybe when they're brand new, it probably felt okay, but as time wore on and that rubber got soft and heated up, cooled down, whatever, it got kind of sloppy. So these bushings that Saleen was selling, I have a set. They're in here. In fact, I didn't show that in the video, so hang on. There are the bushings right there. They're aluminum bushings. And they really help the feel out quite a bit. So, coming out of the T5 is the original Ford Motorsport driveline. It was it's kind of the big honker that it was like the very first version that they've released. I think it's changed since this one that I bought, but I've never had to touch it. It's been absolutely perfect. It has the beefier U-joints in it. It's really a heavy duty unit. And then that attaches to the factory 8.8, which only has the modifications of 355 gear set, which is also a motorsport. Oh, one other thing, I don't know if I even wrote this down, but it also has the motorsport SVO cable and quadrant. That is, I know for sure, in a video with Frankie, but let's put it here too. This is my car, and I just wanted to kind of tell you what I've done to it. And now let's go ahead and talk about where it's going forward. So I've been watching the prices of these Fox bodies going up, and well, I want to keep the price of this up too. I want to be able to drive it, and I think if I do what my original plan was, the drivability will be gone as well. So hear me out. I have another Fox buddy, Frankie, and I don't care what happens to Frankie. If I gotta cut stuff up, I don't care. But this here, it's in good enough shape that, I mean, it's got its problems, but it's in good enough shape that I don't want to hack it up and hammer things around, you know, make things fit, whatever. And Frankie, if I gotta cut something up or whatever, it's fine. It's, you know, I bought it as a project, and I don't want this to be a project. I want this to be a car that at any point in time I can go out, take it for a spin, and still be my car show buddy. It's where I want to keep it. I built a 351 for this thing. It's actually been built for almost 2 years. The plan was to put it in last summer, but I got Frankie, and as I was working on Frankie, this thought just kept coming. And I'm finally listening to the thought. I don't want to mess this car up. I love it too much. So the 351 will either be sold or put in Frankie, or maybe I'll get a different project. I've always wanted to stab a 351 in a Ranger, so I don't know, maybe that'll happen. I don't know. All I can tell you right now is my plans for this car is to leave it almost how it is. What am I going to do though? Well, I'm going to 5-lug swap it. I love Cobra R's on these things. I have a set of Cobra R's. I already have the tires. I already have all the stuff to do a 5-lug swap. The only thing I might do is my 5-lug swap that I have. It's all brand new, but it is to retain drum brakes. Anyway, I might do a rear disc on it. The other thing is I will probably put SVO calipers on it. I bought the Mark 7, I think, rotors for it, which will slide right on, and it will use my existing calipers. However, I don't remember the size difference, but there is a size difference. The caliper is bigger on the SVOs. Actually, I think that rotor for the Mark 7 actually fits the SVO as well. I'm not that well versed on SVOs. Sorry. The other thing that I need to do is this. Okay, 1989. Okay, this thing, what is it? Let's do the mathematics here. 32 years old, and it still has the original shocks on the back of it. I know. They haven't ever made a single noise. It doesn't sag. It hooks just fine with the quad shocks. But I am finally going to be replacing those with, I bought all KYB for the whole thing. Struts, quad shocks, and the regular shocks. I am retaining the factory height. This thing already drags everywhere I go as it is, and I'm not going to lower it. Other plans going forward. There are some things that need to be done, such as the driver's seat looks like, and I'm going to have to get some upholstery for it. I think I'll probably do both front seats. The back seat really looks okay. That's my plan going forward. And I really wanted to explain that on the channel instead of hit and missing things in other videos. The snippets probably aren't going to do any good if you got to go dig through them and see what I'm going to do or whatever. There are some other small things that I may do. Buying Frankie really made me rethink my thought on clear headlights for the front of these. Frankie has a partial excuse me, Frankie has a partial set of clear headlights, and just looking at, gazing in those eyes really made me think a set of those might look just right nice on this. So I'm kind of thinking I might do that. Well, that's about where it's at. I plan on retaining the factory cam on it. Just going from there. I'll probably pull the motor out and reseal it at some point. I might take the bottom end of the machine shop and have them go through it. But it just runs as it is, and I don't know why I would. There's not any need to mess with it right now. But that's what things are gonna do. That's what I'm doing going forward. I don't know how this video is gonna turn out. I am going to use some of the footage that I did last Saturday. It is dreary outside today. It has been raining. I'm looking at my cameras right now, and it looks dry, but it's kind of dark out. I don't know. My clock is what I'm filming with, so I don't know what time it is. It's roughly 5:30, so the sun's going down. By the time it quit raining, I didn't have enough sun, so that's why we ended up with the LEDs under the hood. And, well, it's supposed to snow for the next 6 or 7 days according to the forecast, and I wanted to get this video completed. I've been working on it for a week, and I really didn't like the way it turned out, so I'm hoping this is better. That is a run-of-the-mill box I bought from, I don't know, some car audio place in Salt Lake. I have an Orion Cobalt 501 amp, 500 watts, one channel, and that is running this dual voice coil MA audio 10-inch sub. The sub is not in series, it is parallel, so we're looking at a 2 ohm load right here. Onto the interior. Passenger seat, pretty good shape. It's got a small tear right there. Pretty much all of these eventually tear right there because they start rubbing on this dealy-wig. Whatever the Sam Hill Ford was thinking there, I don't know. But they eventually tear into that. Driver's seat has that. Driver's seat has that. And the driver's seat is also filthy. I can't get that off. So one of these days I will have to get some upholstery from LMR. But here is the rear seat. Dang near perfect, because hardly anybody sits back there. Somehow this thing wound up with a blue seat belt. Not too sure. I bought this thing in 95 and it was in here when I bought it. I'm not too sure what happened there. The other things that this needs is carpet. The carpet is pretty good throughout the car, except for where your heel resides when you drive a clutch. Also, if you own a Fox body, hatchback anyway, you will know that there is a cover, cargo cover, that comes back, hooks in these two holes. I do have that. And I used to use it all the time until I started parking it in the garage all the time, and I'm with this car when it's out of the garage all the time, so no point in really having that. Passenger side, pretty good shape. I do have some issues with the board that the door panel is mounted on. Very typical Fox body issue. One of these days I hope to either get new door panels or find a fix for it. But again, here's this side. Somehow this made its way over here, but that's where it tears into this. Oh my heck, I was just looking for these screws so I can put I gotta put that back in there, and there's one of them. I'm missing 2 screws. Well, now I'm missing 1. It's one of the few Fox bodies that you will see that still work. But as you can see, you know, carpet, it's got things on it, but for the most part, this thing is pretty good shape. I need to replace all this at some point. That's another thing that I've always loved about this car. When you shut the door, she just shuts. Lots of Fox bodies, the doors sag. Frankie does it. I actually fixed one of Frankie's, the passenger door on Frankie, but this thing here is always just shut. So when I got Frankie, it had a goofball B&M plastic T-handle. I don't really care for those. So I bought a new knob for Frankie, and when it got here, I thought, you know what? This car here is more deserving. So the original knob out of this car is in Frankie now. So keeping the value of this thing up is actually a priority of mine. Not that it's an investment for me, but I guess it kind of is. I want to maybe, you know, leave this for my kids someday. Maybe they'll enjoy it and take it to car shows too, or maybe they'll need it to pay for something. I don't know. But right now, I'm gonna pretty much just do normal stuff. I hope you're enjoying the content. I'm trying to make some more content geared towards the Mustangs right now, because I haven't done a whole bunch that has the Mustangs in it lately, because it's too cold to do anything with them. And I have other things that have been more pressing as of late. I did kind of a hover video where I kind of go over down the side, over the top of the car, kind of trying to show the shine, because I'll tell you what, the sun was out on Saturday with just a little cloud cover, and when that happens, this thing, she stands out. I mean, you got to have a pair of sunglasses on to look at it. You'll see. going to stop and interrupt before the ending of this video and just say that I know that the footage where I'm showing my car off, whatever you call it, it was jerky. I was running it straight off of the GoPro with my little tripod, and every time I stepped it seemed to bounce around. So I got this unit here, and it seems like I don't know what I'm doing. Well, that's because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put a little snippet off of this on there. Double coverage there. I'm gonna put a little snippet on there. I'm gonna have to read the instructions or give it to my daughter to figure out, because I can get it going for a little bit and the next thing I know it's turning all over the place. Yeah, that's not turned on right now, so that's just kind of weight moving that around, but I'll give you the gist. And it's dark outside, otherwise I'd have the garage open. But it just kind of supposed to stay level with the car or whatever you're trying to view. And this thing here, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what, but it just keeps on turning. Thinks I'm moving or something, I don't know. I was kind of hoping that we had a home button or something around here. But see, this here lets it move around. This here is supposed to rotate it. Well, see, I don't think that's supposed to happen. I wish it was a robot, then I could program it. But since it's not, let me tap this. Tap this screen. I don't know. I just want the thing to hold still when I'm holding still, I guess. If any of you guys have one of these, I don't even know how to say it. I'll put the name down at the bottom. That's a G6 Feu something or another. Any of y'all's know how to do it, I'd be greatly appreciative that you could point a guy in the direction I need to go. Anyway. Oh man, I think I'm in love.